was shaking as the Carolina Panthers emerge from the tunnel here in Charlotte. They are ready to go as the Panthers are set to match up with the Baltimore Ravens. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey, and he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now a run with McCaffrey. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, here's Newton. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Jackson on 1st down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Allen, the intended receiver, and now it's 2nd down.
Kind of a fine line when you're setting up a screen. You don't want to throw it too early and have the defense react too quickly, and you definitely don't want to throw it too late, and that way it's not formed perfectly. Got to make sure you hit it just right.
2nd and 10. Here's Jackson again. Oh, look over the middle, and he's got Perriman. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
2nd down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a 3rd and a couple remaining.
56. Lucky 56.
From the gun, it's Jackson. Buying time to his left. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
Fielded at the 20. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Carolina getting set to take the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that.
And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. On the ground, McCaffrey. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. A nice job there as he rumbles for 9. And it'll be back to a 3rd and 3. Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a 2nd time.
Newton on 3rd down. Escaping the pressure right. And he finds a man. It's Olsen. That one goes for 29 yards on third down.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
This is McCaffrey. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Here's Newton now on second down. And it's complete to the right side. It's Marshall. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll be third down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
From the gun on third down, Newton. Quick slant, caught by Moore. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it. They'll run for it. McCaffrey. The linebacker, C.J. Mosley, in on the stop. So he needed the short yardage, Charles. He elected to try to bounce it outside of the outer third, unsuccessful.
Sometimes those plays are stacked up by the defense and there's nowhere to go, so you have to bounce it outside. And some backs just get impatient. They want to go to where they think there's more open territory instead of going where the play was actually blocked. In any case, it didn't work here.
They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. On the ground with their leading rusher from a season ago, it's Alex Collins. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
Detroit! Detroit!
On second down, Jackson. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. Thomas Davis in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. Couple of plays sent him the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14.
Gone!
Jackson from the shotgun. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit in the same spot again.
Well, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36.
Yeah, and that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. And we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. Now it's Newton. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
I don't think what we just saw there was any surprise, because when Christian McCaffrey came out of Stanford, we knew he was a threat running it and catching it. And any way you can get the ball in his hands, he wanted to do so. Personally, I thought he ran the best routes of anyone coming out of his draft class, and that included the wide receivers.
Last year, 80 receptions, also in the return game. He's a bit of a Swiss Army knife, isn't he?
He certainly is. Every which way you want to go, however you want to package him, and I do think his running production will increase in 2018.
To throw on second down, Newton. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards. With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Panthers. Newton will bring him up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. McCaffrey. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL, and all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. They'll try the air now with Newton. Forced out to his left. And that is out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. He was trying to get that one into the hands of Christian McCaffrey. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
You got to be precise with your throws, especially in this situation. You're inside the 10-yard line going into the end zone. But sometimes the emotion, the excitement, sometimes the decisions just aren't made very well because of that.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Eluding the pressure right. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 50.
Now Jackson on 1st down. Steps away to his left. And some strong running. Being chased out left. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Nice work out of that, and it's second down. On second down, Collins. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Shaq Thompson on the tackle that time. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. I think you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
Third and 2. Here's Jackson looking deep downfield. He's got a man complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A gain of 32 that time. So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. From the gun, Jackson. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. Shaq Thompson. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now it's Jackson. It's brought in complete. It's John Brown. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards. First red zone chance now for the Ravens. They have a 1st and 10 at the 18. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Now Jackson on 2nd down. And now nothing but green ahead of him. The 40.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. Terrell Suggs in on the tackle. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And that is incomplete. The linebacker, C.J. Mosley, there in coverage.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate, and of course they'd like to forget the ending, the interception, but they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Looking for Perriman, and it's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Charles, when plays like that work, It's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're very deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about, you know, I used to play quarterback in high school, I can do this, until it becomes a game situation. Not quite the same in many cases.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
To throw on second down is Newton. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And this will be caught at the 30. Touchdown, Carolina. A big play there. 81 yards. And the Panthers strike quickly here for 6 points. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And last time, 1 play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
Yeah, not much room there, so he'll get it up only to about the 21. Give the tackle there to Keon Crossen.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
On second down, here's Jackson. Flushed out right. He's going to let this go deep. Back over the middle. It's caught inside the 25. And he is down deep into Carolina territory. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 59 yards. From the red zone now, here's Jackson on first down. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So that is 3 interceptions now in this first half, and you hate to ask the question, but let's be honest, we're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next series?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here. But he has been their starting quarterback for this game. So they've got to weigh things about who's behind him. Do they think he can snap it back into gear? Maybe change up the play calling to help him out a little bit. Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Looking to throw on second down. Newton, and the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Here's Newton. And he's got his target. That's more. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. On first and 10, Newton. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. This is caught inside the 15. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. To the air again, Newton. Flush to his right. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete. They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on second and goal. Throwing again. Newton. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Throwing again is Newton. And he's got it. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. As his guys are in for 6. And the Panthers add on to their lead.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Gano the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to an even 20. Gano out to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Final play of the half here. It's Jackson. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or do they think they were just bad plays to call? Yeah. We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Tackle made by K'Wan Short.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. To throw is Jackson. Looking to throw on second down. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. Luke Kuechly not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Here's Jackson. From the gun, he'll throw. He's going to look deep for Perriman. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 20. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, Is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this 3rd down play takes place. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn 1 here in this 3rd quarter. The Panthers on 3rd down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 4. A shotgun snap for Newton. And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion. What you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now Jackson operating from the gun. And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. Mario Addison in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd down and 12. From the gun, Jackson, and able to find John Brown. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. A good pickup there of 20 yards. They'll throw on 1st down with Jackson. He's got his man, it's Andrews. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on 1st down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
First target, first catch, and a 1st down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. The Raven passing game getting in sync, another 1st down. This quarterback now perfect since the 2nd half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Jackson will throw again. He's got this one complete to Perriman. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 12 more yards there and another 1st down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Hayden Hurst, his second touchdown on the season. And the Ravens cut into that lead. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Tucker with the extra point, and that will get him one closer. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. On 2nd down, here's Newton. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They'll try and pick it up in McCaffrey. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches. He's going to wind up and air it out. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Anthony Averett picks it, and he's going to return it to the 21-yard line.
Brandon, these cornerbacks had their hands full all afternoon long, but they finally get a measure of revenge as he gets himself in a nice spot. He's able to get 2 hands on the football and pick it off.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
After the interception, here's Jackson. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. Mario Addison in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. From the gun, it's Jackson. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Brown. The Ravens on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2. Operating from the gun. Jackson. And Davis has it over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
Check. Patriot. Patriot. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Jackson from the shotgun. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Escaping the pressure right. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12.
Detroit! Detroit!
Jackson from the gun, he'll throw. He can run for it, and he will. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
Well, there were a couple of extra defensive backs in the game, so he really had nowhere to go with the football despite his search for an open receiver. So he has to take off and run for it, but he comes up well short of the line to gain.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. And Allen's got it. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. That's caught over the middle by Hurst. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. On 2nd down, Jackson. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Hayden Hurst, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Ravens have cut it to within a score. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Carolina getting set to take the field. They've been asleep for a little while on this side of the football, Charles, and the score is just a one-score game now. Haven't had any points this half. What gives?
Let's go old school here. All right, let's get back to the basics. Get back to running the football, high percentage throws. Find the guys that eat pressure and make plays for you and make sure they touch it.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. Here's Newton now on 2nd down. Eluding the pressure right. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Out of the gun, Newton. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, 4th quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
And the Ravens taking the field. And they had to go the length of the field last time out to get into the end zone. And with this starting field position, they're going to have to pretty much do it again.
And I think the thought process going into it is, hey, if you have to be methodical, go ahead and do that. But what you really want are a couple of big plays. Eat up chunks of yardage and cut down the number of times you have to snap the football.
Jackson now down around his goal line. He's going to look deep for Perriman. And got his man complete. And he will finally be taken down up at the 48. A big play that time for the Ravens. 44 yards.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now Jackson on 1st down. Pressure up the middle, and down he goes. Mario Adelson. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
Gun!
From the gun, Jackson. Over the middle, complete. That's Andrews. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. From midfield now, here's Jackson. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. K1 Short in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Here's Sam Cook now as he's on to punt for Baltimore. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs, and the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
To throw on second down is Newton. Staying on his feet. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
They certainly thought they had him surrounded and probably thought they were going to get him on the ground and get the sack, but he was able to elude that. And even though it threw it incomplete downfield, if you're a defensive back, you're loving the pressure that you're seeing from your front.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Newton. And Olsen over the middle. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. Newton to Olsen there for a Carolina first down. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Flushed out right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Tyus Bowser in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. From the gun, Newton. And he finds a man. It's Olsen. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
180. Gun.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. And now the Raven defense going to call a timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
Here we go.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's got some space here. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 11 yards on the pickup. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. So here we go, Charles, 3rd down. Any chance you're throwing?
I don't think so. I think you got to keep the clock rolling here.
And indeed, they will keep it on the ground. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. And now the Ravens are going to take another timeout as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the 4th. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And now here come the Ravens. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short in the end zone who comes up and ends up making the play because he goes unguarded. So there's a lot to think about if you're playing defense in this situation.
We'll see if they can cover all their bases.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. So after all of this, it comes down to one final play.
And just think of what it's going to be, because from this distance, you've got to be prepared for everything. Hook and laterals, tip balls, you name it. A lot of laterals after a catch. Just got to be prepared to stand your feet.
The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. Well, we saw a close game that kept us on the edge of our seats down to that final whistle. And right before that final whistle, defense with one last exclamation mark there, getting the sack to end it.
I love how you phrased it, because we were waiting to see what would happen. Obviously, we thought something would happen downfield. Instead, it happens in the offensive backfield, and that's your ball game.
So for the Panthers, their winning ways continue as they get it up to 7-0. And they'll get to stay home again next week as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come to town. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, they drop back to 500 now at 4 up and 4 down. And they'll look to get back on the beam next week as they host the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.